Welcome back. Before we begin developing in earnest, let's do a bit of cleanup work. First, let's delete our NURBS curb, since we no longer need it. However, simply deleting our curb at this point will result in destroying the extrude. In order to avoid this, we need to first delete our history. To delete a model's history, simply press Ctrl and H, or go to Delete History in your Edit drop-down menu. With our history deleted, we are now free to select and delete our NURBS curb. In order to begin developing the upper part of our shield body, select the face loop of the top inner upper part of our shield frame. With the loop selected, go to Duplicate, which can be found in the Edit Mesh menu. At this point, we should have a new polygon mesh created from our selected faces. With your duplicate mesh still selected, move it back so it falls within the shield frame. Additionally, scale the newly created mesh in on the Y-axis. With only our newly created mesh selected, extrude the faces of the mesh, and drag the newly extruded faces down until they fall inside the lower top area of the shield frame. Then, add one additional division in the Extrude option box. Next, delete every other set of edge loops, starting from the second edge loop and ending at the second to last edge loop. Then, begin aligning the vertexes to the shape of the shield frame. Keep in mind, our goal in modeling for games is to always use as few polygons as possible to create our assets. This is the reason behind deleting half of our edge loops. Since the edges of our shield body are hidden within the frame, we don't need as many polygons to create our shapes. This method allows us to create a lower polygon version of our shape, while hiding the rough edges behind our much smoother shield frame. We'll use this same method to create our main shield body. First, select the inner upper face loop of the large section of the shield frame. Once your faces are selected, go to Edit Mesh, and choose Duplicate to create a duplicate mesh of the faces. Move the duplicate mesh slightly inside the frame and scale down the mesh in the Y-axis. Next, select the horizontal edge at the top of the newly duplicated mesh, extrude it, and move it slightly towards the center edge of the frame on your left-hand side. Once that's complete, select every other horizontal edge past the second edge at the top, and delete the edges. We now need to extrude the faces down several times, until we reach the bottom of the frame, like shown in the video. At this point, we shouldn't worry about conforming to the actual shape of the shield. Instead, we need to ensure that we don't have too few or too many edge loops to form our shape. Next, we'll create a lattice mesh deformer. To create a lattice deformer, with your mesh selected, go to the Deformer drop-down menu, and select Lattice. With your lattice now created, in the channel box, under Shapes, increase the number of T divisions, until you have enough to accurately manipulate the main shield body mesh. Once you've increased your T divisions, right-click on top of the lattice, and select Lattice Points, in the pop-up menu. At this point, manipulate the lattice and lattice points, to correctly conform to the general shape of the main shield body, to the shield frame. The lattice allows us to quickly manipulate groups of faces and vertexes, rather than manually manipulating the vertexes or faces one by one, like we've done in the past. Once we've got our general shape using our lattice, select the mesh in object mode, and delete the history in order to remove the deformer. Once the lattice is removed, manipulate the vertexes to further align the edges with the shield frame. Next, we need to ensure our polygons are properly spaced out, and smooth out our edge loops. We can quickly and easily do this by using the Sculpting Geometry Brush tool. You can find the Sculpting Geometry tool in the Surface drop-down menu set, or in the Surface shelf. In the Sculpting Geometry tool settings, place the brush on either Smooth or Relax, and under Stroke click Reflect, and place the reflection axis on Z. This will allow your brush to affect both the back and front simultaneously. With the Sculpting Geometry tool set, use the brush to smooth and even out the polygons. Now that the base of our shield body is complete, in the next lesson, let's once again focus our attention on finishing up our shield frame. So be sure to join us in the next lesson, where we'll continue developing our AAA game asset.